Last call. There are sunflower seeds at the bottom of my sea bags. Pouring them out is an hourglass measuring how far too long since they were last used. I travel as often as I can. The seeds are a sign I need to build shelves or tidy the storeroom such that the cats can patrol. In the landlocked interim, some instinct-driven red-backed vole has packed a heavy lunch for scarcity and the future, or a voyage it didn't dare imagine. As they do, but once they consider carefully the unknown, they remain warm within the walls. The bags are not yet scrap iron and nest thread, valuable only to rodents in the corner of the old garage. I toss the sea bags into the back of a pickup, and we drive 4 truckloads out from the hotel to the ship. We mobilize the onboard labs. Crates and cases and boxes are pulled from container, fixed to the working deck. Delicate instruments are unpacked, and pairs of boots and foul weather gear are delivered from months ago. Everything is tied and made easy to reach in a lashed bag or a tray screwed to a tabletop, from the microscopes to extra pens and lens wipes and laptop adapters. All the lab surfaces are perforated with threaded steel such that expensive machines can be anchored with bungee and parachute cord. Once we leave the harbor, everything left to rock and rattle within a tray will be one more noise under the AC, the engines, the screws, the winches, the gurgle of the sampler putting water from the sea chest. The staterooms are undisturbed. Hardware put into drawers is padded with clothes, else the sliding and the rolling things knocking the insides of tin boxes through this week and next week and the week after that. If we're not careful, over time, will drive us mad. Going mad at sea is like Kate's seasickness. It's inevitable given time and the boat's a cork. We eat dinner on ship and walk back out along the muddy jetty, past the airport and to town, about 2 miles to the center of things. Squalls advance and retreat. The Noah boys from the Fairweather offer us a ride, but I think we want to stretch our legs. Steve checks out the back of their van to see what sort of room there is to help with our excuses. It has started to rain again. I tell Steve walking to the bar is neither here nor there, but walking home again to the ship is something I've come to love more than being at sea. This keeps happening, this going to sea thing, but it is never something I can expect to do again, always the last time. From the back deck of the bar, we can see the ship's upper decks on the far side of the jetties. The ship is tied just west of us. The ecosystem studying Korean icebreaker is waiting offshore. We think it'll take our spot when we leave tomorrow. Until then, it ferries crew with a helicopter. This is Alaska. This is known. So there are kids in t-shirts on jet skis racing just off the beach. There's a fist fight behind us on the shore road that Mike watches silently. Those of us with our backs turned are none the wiser. We blink in the low northern sun, and later Mike says he really didn't want to interrupt our conversation. Phil carries a second round out onto the raised deck. Anna is not yet 21, but she keeps a straight face. Alaska in summer, so no one needs to walk to the boat in the dark. We discuss past expeditions and who has sailed with whom and where and when. We wonder what the weather will be. The satellites observe ice over our track, but there's an equal chance that we'll be driven north as the winds shift to the east. Will there be swells? Will the glider behave on a test drive, confident then that we can let it make its own months-long journey to Utqiagvik, shooting Barrow Canyon, the currents, and listening for whales coming the other way? Last summer, it wandered off towards Chukotka, collecting data as it had a mind to. We talk about the ship and how it has evolved. We talk about seasickness. We talk about the vagaries of an itinerary at sea. The house voles know. One of the fearless cat dodgers broke his way into a 2-foot Playmobil pirate ship when he found himself 2 floors above the garage in the library. Ascension by way of teeth. Subsequent escape and dusting volumes of the borrowers, fortunately the milk and Port-Blier. He occupied the captain's cabin for about an hour before challenging me to a duel across the forward gunwale. Our stalemate ended in him jumping ship to tunnel through milk crates and games, ultimately sleeping off the adventurous afternoon in a bay window plant pot under the aloe. As the cats woke and began to sniff him out, I rescued his quick butt with a yogurt container and a spoon. Dinner of sunflower seeds, and I put him out on the snow where he quickly found holes under 40-year-old Tonka toys, clapped chain link, and plastic boats for the paddling pool all beached up under the porch. Here's what to know about a ship. It's trying to kill you. Here's what to know about seasickness. It's your inner ear telling your body, for some reason, probably an evolutionary cock-up, that you have been poisoned. Having food in your stomach is a good thing. Keeping hydrated is a good thing. Dry crackers are great. Coffee and other greasy foods spell trouble. Ginger works. Stock up. When you do get sick and everyone has their limit, it's the worst thing in the world. Not unlike an adult's inexplicable and seeming sudden rejection of thought. Not unlike an adult's inexplicable and seemingly sudden rejection of the thought of roller coasters. Not unlike being carried out into the cold inside of a plastic cup, said Garigold. Says this will be over soon. Celia said she'd rather catch the flu. Best thing, of course, is lying down. Lying down takes the motion of the ocean and turns nightmare into hammock. It's not a solution. We've only got the boat for a few weeks. There's work to be done, and you have to get up to eat to keep the stomach busy. Busy's the best thing. The Nugget Inn and Bar was built because Alaska Airlines wanted a swell place for their customers to lodge in the remote north. Kate says she stayed here not so long ago. She can't remember the project offhand. She says the floors have gone soft and that the balcony out back looks sketchy, like a homemade moon rocket looks sketchy. The engineers among us are impressed by the turnbuckle wire reinforcement strung out to the end of the flying 2x4s, more by the attempt than that it's effective. Turn away, have a drink, look at the sea. Karen gets a text from Massachusetts. Appears her cat captured a mouse and was found on the bed trying to eat it. More often than not, the cats drop live voles in the bathtub for safekeeping. When they seem overly proud at breakfast, we know to look. One hand yourself, one to the boat. Later we learn the crew can sing karaoke, and when they turn up, we know the crew of the Fairweather hasn't got a chance, even if they have a shiny white ship and a shiny white van in spite of the jetty mud. So we're good at before parties. At Montreal, I stumbled aboard ship with the cook. At San Juan, the crew closed the bar and walked the path downhill in a light rain to the Navy docks. At Dutch, we avoided our own van run between town and the foot of Ballyhoo. At Nome, the sun is up, and there is gold dust in the mud between the treads of our shoes. Nome was once the largest city in Alaska, back at the turn of the 20th century, when the gold rush was here and not yet moved to upstart Fairbanks. Mining barges now litter the wide shore. We look but can't find a crane large enough to put the rust and hulks, even unfueled, back into the water. To the west, we can see a bucket dredge in the distance, a silhouette against the setting sun.